Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with my review of WWE Money in the Bank in your house. It was barely longer than an in-your-house pay-per-view. It was barely longer than a Raw episode. Actually, you would have to include the kickoff for it to be as long as a Raw episode. And it really felt like a lot of filler. Now, there were some good moments. I'm not going to say this pay-per-view is completely crap, but let me just tell you this much. In regards to the main event, the cinematic wrestling, well, it's as full as this cup. It's as full as both of these cups together. 2 ladder matches, 1 cup. Have fun on seeing that. This pay-per-view was a goddamn mess. I'm not going to get a lot of praise for this, but I'm just going to say right now, I really don't care at this point if WWE continues to do this shit or not, because I think WWE finally broke me with this. I think they did. WWE has finally beaten me. I have no faith that 2020 is going to go any better than 1995, except they're going to lose 10 more millions of dollars than they did in 1995. I mean, fucking hell, I know that there's a crisis going on. They're doing the best they can. I'm glad if the wrestlers had fun, but fucking hell, this show was a goddamn mess. So we have Scott Stanford and Peter Rosenberg running down things. Cool. Just when we thought Sam Roberts wasn't vanilla enough, and actually he has some moments, Peter Rosenberg is here to really bore us to tears. We get Elise Ashton, I hope I pronounced that right. Hey, at least she has some enthusiasm and they're using her again. Good. I'm all for that. So, I want you guys to do something if you watch this show back. Take a shot every time somebody says the risk is worth the reward. You will likely be blackout drunk within 30 minutes and in the hospital in 45, because they repeated that ad nauseum. By, like WrestleMania being too big for one night. WrestleMania 36, that is. So we have Booker, Renee, and JBL talking about the ladder matches. Hopefully JBL remembered to clear his browser history, because that didn't work out so well the last time he took a screenshot of something. Remember that? JBL's a bit of a pervy bastard, as well as a bully. So Scott says Lucha lit, and I died a little inside. And I know he's just saying this stuff, and maybe I'm just picking on this because I want some entertainment, but you know what? There's a fine line between entertainment and what that main event was. So, I'm going to get to that here in a little bit, though, because we have Tamina and anger management stuff, and I don't know what the hell this was. It wasn't very good. It was like bad Instagram filter stuff. Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. Boy, Cesaro deserves an Intercontinental Championship run, and if he can actually have a run, if he can actually even wrestle anymore after herniating every disc in his body, carrying the sack of shit that is Jeff Hardy. Now look, I know he's had a lot of ring rust and he just came back from injury, but he wasn't wrestling all that good for the 2 years before he got injured. Jeff Hardy is fucking washed. He is done. He is absolutely done. I wish nothing but the best when he can go home to his wife and his children, but he does not need to wrestle anymore. This comeback is going to flame out terribly. Cesaro did a Herculean effort carrying Jeff Hardy here. And oh, God, Cesaro, just good Lord. Cesaro, credit to Cesaro here. Jeff landing on Cesaro's knee, trying to do a whisper in the wind or whatever the fuck that was. And then we get a swanton for 3. This match was horrible. And I know it was his first match back. I understand that. He's been through a lot. He's finally clean, hopefully. He's beat his body to shit. But he can't fucking go anymore. Matt Hardy can't even go anymore. But at least he's got character. What's Jeff doing? The same damn character that he's been doing for the last 20 years? At least the last 10? Hopefully not, 2011 Jeff Hardy, the one that made everybody sad. So they didn't have any Truth versus MVP on the kickoff show, but they had a good PS2, style graphical intro and everything, so they had that. That's nice to know. I miss having my PS2, actually. That was a lot of fun to play, but I didn't play it anymore. I didn't have time. So, once again, take a shot every time someone says the risk is worth the reward. New Day versus Team Duga, Lucha Thing, Grand Metalik, and Lince Dorado, Miz and Morrison, Ho Ho, Hey Hey, and the Forgotten Trumpers with Jackson Riker. SmackDown Tag Title Fatal 4-Way. The match was fine, but this could have just been on SmackDown and it wouldn't have been a miss. They literally could have just had this on SmackDown. Like, they did not even need to include this on the pay-per-view. It would have been even shorter. It would have been, this pay-per-view would have been like 2 hours had they not included this one. Corey mentions how Grand Metalik, he thought it was Hoovy. Here's the difference. Metalik actually has personality and isn't trouble to work with like Hoovy. Because Hoovy's great in the ring, but crap, he was trouble to work with apparently. Riker was sent to the back. Somebody pointed out, why, if there's no DQs, why was that guy sent to the back? Now, I know why he got sent back there because he had to go to a Trump rally down the road, But why in the world would you send somebody back? Oh, you can't do this. You can't interfere. It's no disqualification, ref. I mean, what the fuck? Big ending. Pins Grand Metalik. Cool. Okay, whatever. Tag titles stay on New Day. Please don't give the Forgotten Trumpers the tag titles. They don't deserve them. And then Lacey is kind of promo, putting on makeup, talking about being made in the USA, in the U.S. Marines, and she has her fist ready for Bayley. Might have misinterpreted that slightly. Maybe it's just a dream I had. You will have to guess on that. So, a shout out, by the way, to Cat_Woman13, who referenced Squirm, MST3K Squirm. No one is that Southern. You bring up a good point, actually. You bring up a very good point. Because it, one, popped me huge, by the way. I definitely laughed at that. That sounded a lot dirtier than I intended. But that was pretty damn funny. I forgot about that episode. I'm probably going to watch that episode after I cut this review. So then, Drew is cutting a promo backstage and says he will welcome Rollins to Claymore Country and break his jaw. That's assault. That's assault, Drew. I know it's wrestling. You're not supposed to actually injure people. You're not Nia Jax. Thank God. Truth is then rapping and doing the what's up thing and all that. And he's going to face MVP. They do the balling shit. They ball each other. They ball it up. If you've seen Plan 9 from Outer Space, you get that reference. And then Lashley comes out and says, hey, MVP, I got this. And then we had Truth attempting to scissor kick Lashley. And then Lashley hit a big meaty spear right over Truth. I might be thinking of something other than wrestling. But then Lashley got the victory. Cool, whatever. Okay, let's move on from this. Bayley with Sasha versus Tamina. SmackDown Live Women's Championship. The match was fine. I just didn't care about the feud. Did Tamina do good? Yes, she didn't get injured in a match. Hooray! Bonus points. Bonus points. And hey, you know, of course they had to have a Snuka toss around a younger woman. I know she's not her dad, but the symbolism was there. It was not lost on me. And, you know, at one point, Bayley just throws a bottle of water, somebody else's bottle of water, drinks from that, and throws the rest on Tamina. It's a good thing to do during this crisis that's going on. Good thing to do. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this. I don't know why anybody thought Tamina was a credible threat. This match could have been on SmackDown as well. Sasha did try to interfere after Tamina had hit the Samoan drop, and then the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling with one of the worst roll-ups ever. And Bayley's a good wrestler. This is a terrible roll-up. And a terrible roll-up this side of Owen and Austin. At least that had the benefit of a neck injury, an unfortunate neck injury. Shout out to the TNA creative for that one. And, okay, cool, Bayley retains. Cool, please don't continue this feud. Please don't. And, by the way, Seth Rollins cutting a promo. I want to address Seth Rollins' jacket. I don't care if it's a men's jacket or a women's jacket. You do you have fun. I care that it's an ugly jacket. I don't know if anybody would be caught dead in that jacket. Because, well, I mean, technically you could because you wouldn't be able to fight back or take the jacket off unless you're a zombie. And if you are a zombie, you don't care about fashion. You just care about brains. And you also want The Walking Dead to be canceled. Why is that show still going on? So, Seth Rollins' jacket is ugly. That's my point. Bray versus Braun. The puppets are here. And I instantly hate it. I'm 50-50 on Bray's character. I give him credit for investing in this and doing some really good stuff. He hit a tornado DDT at one point after hitting his sister Abigail. That was some pretty good stuff. I just don't care about this feud. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just don't care about this. Braun puts on the black sheep mask. He's coming home. He's coming home. It was clearly a ruse. The puppets are all celebrating. I died a little inside every time we kept showing the puppets. And then he hit the power slam. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. Oh, no. Nobody saw that coming except everybody. And then the hacker guy talks. By the way, we get a shot of Bray after this, or before the hacker guy, where we get shots of the Fiends. Obviously, the Fiend's coming out. I don't know why the Fiend didn't just beat Braun right then if we wanted to get the title off of him, but obviously we don't yet. So, they want to know who I am. I am everywhere. The hacker guy. Who do you think the hacker guy is? Some people have been saying CM Punk. Some have said AJ Lee. Some are saying Ronda Rousey. Because they're exposing everybody. And Ronda Rousey did her comments about that and talking about fake fights and everything and all that. And I want to address really quickly that that's where Ronda Rousey lost me. And I know those comments are real. I know Ronda Rousey's doing the work thing, but there's a fine line between saying stuff and saying fake. And saying they're fake is bullshit because, Ronda, whenever you got beat, you ran away crying like a baby because you couldn't handle loss. Now, nobody likes to lose, but Ronda handled it really goddamn badly. And had some issues that she had to go through, but maybe she should have been a bit less of a sore loser. Fake fights, there are women in there that could flatten you in, in some, even as much as a judo expert as she is. If all they got to do is beat her, and then she runs away like she did at Mania 35. Actually, she was supposed to leave. But anyway, who do you think the hacker person is? Do you even care? Because I don't care. I don't care. I thought it was going to be Ali because of the symbol, but no. Drew versus Seth, WWE Championship. That was good. I like that. That was good stuff. I'm not that sold on Seth Rollins' new Messiah character, the Monday Night Messiah, but he's sinking his teeth into it. And they gave him a new theme. No longer burn it down. You know what? It's about time that they change it. Hey, it fits better than Johnny Gargano's theme because Seth Rollins actually has a personality when he's a heel, and Johnny Gargano just has that same face that he always makes. And Candice has the same face that she always makes. I don't know why I'm taking this opportunity to rip on them. By the way, Charlotte's the worst NXT women's champion that there has been, at least this time around. Not the first time. So, how was the match? Quite good, as I said. He's doing it for the greater good. Cue the Hot Fuzz gif, which I'm not going to include here. The match, it was decent at first and then built and got better. This is an example of how when you give two talents a long match and they can build it properly and you let them actually do their shit, they can get some good stuff going. Announcer's table spot, chair tease. Some really, really good action here. I like Samoa Joe's call when Drew McIntyre, by the way, hits his headbutt. The Glasgow kiss. Give us a kiss. That's some... If Samoa Joe can't come back to full-time wrestling, just keep him on commentary. Just keep him on commentary. Go back to a two-man commentary team. Rotate people out and stuff like that. Maybe have Tom call some of it. Have Byron call some of it. But just have Joe out there the whole damn time. Because Joe's just that goddamn awesome. And he will be perfect for the Raw commentary team. And I just like that, though. Give us a kid. That's really good stuff. So anyway, we have the superplex Falcon Arrow spot that Rollins did to Drew. That was beautiful. Great stuff. And then we had the Future Shock DDT for 2. We have the super kick, the stomp, but just for 2. We get a 1-2-1-2 thing where the hip moves. Sudden Claymore, 1, 2, 3. And Drew retains. Clean. No Murphy interfering, no nothing. And then he shakes his hand. Drew says, shake my hand. Show how much of a leader you are. Shake my hand. He does that. I hope this feud's over because, honestly, you don't need to continue this. It was clean. Because even if you have, like, another match, drawing out a feud, especially after a clean loss like that, isn't necessarily going to work. You can revisit this around SummerSlam, give Drew some other opponents, add Murphy in there, and have Drew maybe pin Murphy, and then you lead to the divide there or something like that. So, Truth is backstage and thinks he beat MVP, and he wants to get the 24/7 championship back from Tom Brady. And that is the moment where I basically wish that the 24/7 championship and whoever conceived it had never been born. Because that championship is a goddamn atrocity. I know it's supposed to be for entertainment, but you know what? That championship is garbage. Just don't fucking do it. Don't fucking include it anymore. Just forget about it. Truth has spun a lot, it made a lot of lemons in the lemonade, spun a lot of, chicken shit into gold. I know that is how that works. He's made chicken salad out of chicken shit. All this stuff. He has done a lot with a little or next to nothing. But I'm over that. I'm over that fucking shit. So now we get to the main event at WWE headquarters, the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches taking place at the same time. 6 men, 6 women, human centipede together. I need to get myself ready for this. Here's my notebook. There. That should fucking do it. And I thought the triple cage match at Slamboree 2000 in WCW was bad. I will give full credit to the people for doing their best here and having fun with it. Now, this is the thing about cinematic wrestling, and the thing I did earlier. I understand if some people liked it. Now, did I hate this as much? Maybe I was being a bit unfair, but you know what? Here's why I'm not being unfair, actually. Because I waffled back and forth on this. I'm recording this a little bit later in the day because I took a few minutes to figure out what I was going to say about this. Here's why I hated it. The Boneyard match was ridiculous, but you know what? They had some fun with it. I didn't like the Firefly Funhouse thing with Bray and Cena, though I got why they did. They're doing the cinematic wrestling out of necessity. They wanted to have some fun with this. The men and women were on board, fine. If they had fun, great. You know why I didn't enjoy this? Because you had about half good people and you had the rest shit. And you need to have a mix of upper and lower level talents, but it's just, here are the people that were in it. Asuka, good. Dana, improving. Probably shouldn't be on promos. Shayna's good, except when she cuts promos, because she's not all that fearsome. Carmella still looks like she's taking inspiration from Final Destination 3. Seriously, Carmella, your skin is going to fucking rot and you're going to be a brown skeleton by the time you're 35. Or whatever, or fuck if she's almost 35 right now. And Nia Jax. Nia Jax is fucking useless and does not deserve to be there. Thanks, Dwayne. Thanks, Rock. Thanks for bringing in this idiot. And then Lacey Evans. I like Lacey Evans. I think Lacey Evans has improved. Can Lacey Evans get better in the ring? Sure. But she has improved and she has the character down. So you have, like, 3 women that are, you know, pretty good in the ring. And then you have Dana, who's not bad, who is improving. And then you have 2 morons. You have Corey's side bitch, and then you have, you know, Nia, you know, botching Jax. So, then you have AJ Styles. Good. Baron Corbin. Horrible character. Boring. Absolutely boring. Rey Mysterio. I'm amazed his knees held up. Daniel Bryan. Okay, cool. Daniel Bryan's in this. At least Brie wasn't. Aleister Black. Cool. Otis. I know Otis entertains people, whatever. Otis is inconsequential to me. Okay, here we go. The men start in the weight room. The women start in the lobby. They're all there, and then suddenly, you know, a cut, and Asuka's up, like, doing the Christopher Walken weapon of choice thing, where she's just hanging up there and then dives on everybody, and then takes the elevator, and she's dancing in the elevator and stuff like that. Somebody called that earlier happening, and you know what? Good on them. And then we get, AJ under some weights. He gets pinned under a dumbbell, or under a barbell, rather. Okay, cool. He clearly could have gotten out of it, or maybe, you know, younger AJ could have. I don't know if he's that limber anymore, but he's like, hey, Ray, help me. And Ray's just like, look, I can't lift that. And actually, Ray probably couldn't. Ray's pretty strong, but I don't think he's that strong. So, we then get Ray going to the bathroom, and then we get Brother Love in there, which is fitting because Brother Love is one of the shittiest characters there. Fuck Bruce Pritchard. I'm ashamed that he ever got into wrestling. He should have never been allowed in wrestling. He's a fucking piece of shit and a goddamn idiot and a goddamn Vince McMahon kiss ass. He probably is so far up Vince's ass, he probably can tell everybody what he's had for breakfast last week. I don't like Bruce Pritchard, in case you can't tell. So, why was there a 2-foot ring in one of the rooms in the headquarters? Why? Why was it there? Why? I mean, I've never been in WWE headquarters. I give them credit for trying something new, but you know what? This didn't work for me. This was cinematic wrestling, the well being run dry to the point where you could find Samara's corpse at the bottom. And Samara's corpse would actually be livelier than I felt during this. Because, you know, it felt like this, after this was going to end, I was going to get a call saying 7 minutes, and then something bad was going to happen to me. Because this match took years off my life. This was horrible. Now, there was one good moment in, and I'll get to that. So we get more elevator action. We get a guy playing Doink. It wasn't Matt Bourne, because unfortunately he's been dead for years. We get a Money in the Bank case filled with money in the conference room. And then Stephanie says, what the hell are you doing? Because Dana had knocked out Nia. I don't know, maybe Nia was woozy from, not botching every 5 minutes. And then Stephanie says, Nia's drooling all over the place. You need to take care of that. And then Dana gets hit with a poster by Carmella and is still wearing that poster later. This was some of the worst aspects of Saturday Night Live and skit comedy that I've seen. This wasn't wrestling. That's the thing. This wasn't wrestling. The Boneyard match, at least they were having fun with it. Firefly Funhouse, I get why they did it. I still didn't like it, but I can see why people liked it. I can see why people like this, but you know what? I didn't. I found this objectively terrible. So, we get AJ finding a casket. Alistair locks him in the room. Just kicks him and locks him in the room. There's all this blue light. Blue light special. Apparently there's a Kmart still open somewhere. Are Kmart's even still open anymore? Really, I don't know. I think it was one that was open up in my state at one point, and that was 5 months ago. So, we then get Heyman among some food. Was the food kosher? That's the real question. Seriously, that's actually a legit question. I actually don't know fully what kosher food is. We get a food fight. This is where I wish that the pay-per-view would just cut out. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Phone in, that's it. That's it. You're going to do food fights. Food fights don't work around the holidays. This isn't good. This isn't entertaining. Maybe I'm just being goddamn cynical and I don't care anymore, but this was fucking stupid. And then Nia and Otis stare each other down, and then they leave. And then People Power, basically in like the mess room or the mess hall or whatever. I guess apparently they're on some kind of ship. Johnny Ace is there. John Laurinaitis, and he gets hit with a pie. He should have been tipped over on his goddamn scooter. John Laurinaitis is one of the biggest pieces of shit in wrestling also. Because he at one point said AJ Lee was unfuckable. So fuck that guy. You know, Big Show should have punched him a lot goddamn harder. Yeah, John Laurinaitis is a goddamn idiot. No, of course he married into the Bella family. And look, I'm going to say this much right now. John Laurinaitis is the worst member of the Bella family right there. Because at least with them, you know, there's kind of an explanation for their characters and stuff like that. John Laurinaitis was only in wrestling because of his brother. And you know who his brother is, by the way, in case you don't know. Road Warrior Animal. Who even now could have out-wrestled Johnny Ace in his prime. So, we get Asuka. She hurls a mop at somebody because she's talking to a janitor guy and then hurls a mop at somebody. And I guess no women slip and then Dana slips. She was either supposed to slip on the mop or something. And she still had the poster, by the way, on her head during that food fight earlier. We then get Brian and AJ in Vince's office. He has a dinosaur skull there. Vince tells him to get out. That was one of the lamest things, and Vince looks frail. I mean, really frail. Really, goddamn, that was scary. Then he goes back to writing. That was horrible. That was horrible. And, I mean, they put the furniture back, and they're like, well, you said, I said you should put that back. Oh, yeah, I did. And then there we go. So anyway, the women get to the roof first. They battle a bit. Asuka knocks Corbin off because Corbin apparently thinks that only one person can win both briefcases. Because Baron Corbin's a goddamn idiot. I mean, he failed to cash in on Jinder Mahal. What the fuck do you think? But then Asuka gets a briefcase. Thank fucking God. Nothing against Shayna. Shayna doesn't need the briefcase. Asuka, for saving Raw from being totally obscure bullshit and just making it slightly obscure bullshit, she deserves every bit of the praise. She has fought through so much bad booking, losing to Charlotte at Mania 34, having a feud with Carmella, Corey's side piece, and Ellsworth, you know, the guy that exposes himself to underage girls, even though he says he didn't. I think he did. And even if he didn't, he's still a fucking chinless creep. He, you know, after Asuka dealing with all that bullshit and her title reign not being booked all that well, her SmackDown Women's title reign, and just doing everything she could to get out of this shit and making everything work, she deserves the women's briefcase. The men get to the roof, and the rest is, well, the rest of them, because Corbin was already there. Elias then slaps Corbin with his instrument, drapes his instrument all over Corbin's back. And then Styles and Corbin were battling over the briefcase. Styles has it, but then loses it. Usually if you get it from the top, you have it, but then he loses it. Otis catches it on the ground and is declared the winner. So right there, Otis is one of the worst Money in the Bank briefcase winners ever. And I know that people like Otis, but you know what? This is all I gotta say. This is exactly what I have to say about that fucking pay-per-view. I'm glad Asuka won. Drew and Seth had a great match. There were some okay moments otherwise. I know people are not going to like my opinions on the, you know, the men's and women's Money in the Bank match at WWE headquarters, all human centipede together. But guess what? One, the cinematic well is done. It's dry. I hated what they did on Dynamite with the street fight, and if I'm going to hate that, this wasn't any better. At least there was a little bit of something in the street fight, even though I didn't like it. And people gave me shit for it. Guess what? If I'm going to shit on what AEW does when they do a bunch of bullshit like that, then I gotta shit on what WWE does here. If I don't find it entertaining, I don't. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say right there. I will still watch WWE programming because you guys like me reviewing shit. And since I'm reviewing WCW 2000, it can't be that bad, but this was fucking terrible. This was absolutely terrible. It was short. I will give them credit for that. And at least Asuka won. Good for them. And Otis is popular, so they gave him the briefcase. Fine. I'm not happy about it, but it is what. At least Corbin didn't win. At least Baron Corbin didn't win. So anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.